question. So I hope it's a relevant story to someone. So the story, I'll start from telling about a little bit about my company and myself, and then I'll dive into the story. So I'm a co-founder and CEO of a company called Teamable. We help companies to leverage their employee social and professional networks for hiring. And some of our customers are Airbnb, Lyft, Box, Brex, and other fast-growing companies using Teamable for hiring. We started the company in 2013, and in 2018, I became the CEO of company. Before that, my co-founder was leading the company. So when I became a CEO, I tapped into the financial and stuff and quickly realized that we're running out of money and I need to quickly go and fundraise. It was December of 2018. So I started my fundraising process, and in February, I started talking to one of the biggest funds in Silicon Valley in terms of funding. And I went too deep into this process. So during the process, I would ignore other inbounds, like from other investors, to discuss this. And eventually, it took us around 3 months from February to go through this due diligence process with this VC firm. And eventually, it was the beginning of May. So basically, this deal got pulled off just last minute. Everything was ready, and these guys were ready to sign a contract. We're ready to sign a contract. My other investors were ready. But then something happened internally with this company. Their partners hasn't agreed on something, and the deal got pulled off. And I stayed with zero other opportunities to raise money because I put all my efforts to talk only to this company versus diversifying and mitigating the risk and talking to multiple. And as a result, I've got into the point where I have only 2 months runway, which means I can pay basically salary to my employees only for the next 2 months, and then that's it. I'm done. And I've got into this crisis mode now. I need to figure out how to raise money because I have only 2 months runway. And I went back to my current investors. Luckily, they were very understanding and supportive. So they're like, okay, we can give you the required money, but there's one condition. So you need to bring some more external investors, and the money will be released with escrow. So for those of you who doesn't know what that means, it means there will be a natural bank account where all the money goes. So let's say I'm raising 2 million. So if I don't get 2 million by the day of deadline, the money goes back. So basically everyone who put money in this natural bank account, if by the day of deadline there is no the entire 2 million, the entire money goes back to the investors. So what happened? The deadline was June 30, and it was June 28. I already collected all the money, and I was missing only 200,000. It was only 2 days remaining. So in 2 days, if I don't get this 200,000, my company is just shutting down. And what I did, I'm like, okay, I have great customers, so I'll just ask my customers. Maybe they want to fund the business. So I emailed the CEOs of my customers, and one of the guys who's the CEO of one of my customers, basically, and they're using Teamable. They hired their VP of sales through Teamable and some critical roles, so they clearly understand the value. And what they did, so it appeared that this guy at that moment is in delivery room with his wife, who's delivering their 3rd child. But he understood that the moment is critical, and he sent email. Unfortunately, we can't present, but the content of email was he sent this email to all his investors because he didn't have money. He put all his money into his business, but he sent email to his investors and employees with some approximately this content, hey guys, Teamable, and you know how it's helpful to us, how it was critical to my business. He ensured that he's not an investor in Teamable or anyhow involved in a business except just being power user. And what happened, literally in 3 hours after this email went out, I received this 200,000 from the employees of this company. So basically, my customers saved the business like last minute by adding up that remaining 200,000 that would fulfill the entire desired amount into this escrow account. So eventually, like it was last day that I could receive this money, otherwise the business would die. And I did it thanks to my great customers who just funded the business. And that's my story. And the learnings from this, like, doesn't matter how confident you are in your thought, always diversify and mitigate the risk, because you never know what comes out and how things turn. Questions?
So what was the turning point from having no business with no funding to a business with like that needs millions of dollars to be funded? You know what I mean? You're saying like you needed millions. What was the point where like you went from like not needing millions to needing millions? Like where was that kind of transition, you know?
Yeah, it was the moment where like I took over the CEO position. So before that, it was some uncertainty in the business, and then that was the moment where like, okay, I'm now the CEO and I'm responsible for this company. And what do you do first? Like you need to make sure you have enough money to pay salary or like do your business. And that was the moment like, okay, we have like 6 months of runway. We need to do something
So
now.
so in your position you were already thrusted into like an already existing entity basically. So that's how basically.
Yeah, it was founded
Okay,
by
cool.
myself, but I never ran it. So I built the product and then I turned into a CEO, and that's where it became my primary responsibility.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Can I ask one more
Yeah.
question, or is there someone else? So I was wondering how sorry, I'm like, what was the name of it again? The company you're saying it was Teamable. Okay. How well is
Teamable.
Teamable doing nowadays? There it is, Teamable right there.
Yeah, it's doing well. So it was like the most critical point because after that we received the desired funding and we're growing. We still have these amazing customers. Although like with this current situation, it's obviously uncertain because we're in HR business and like Airbnb is a customer, but unfortunately they are not hiring nowadays. So I don't know, a lot of our other customers. So if we exclude this moment, like this uncertain moment, things are going well.
Okay, so your customers are mostly big companies for the most part.
Enterprises, yeah. We have smaller companies too, like some people out of YC batch would acquire Teamable and use it, but typically it's this like pre-IPO or just IPO'd companies like Airbnb or Lyft or Block.
Okay, and then they don't really use it to hire like basic level employees like cashiers and stuff like
No,
that.
it's mainly a highly skilled talent. Basically, anyone who has a footprint in internet, like they have LinkedIn, GitHub, or Stack Overflow presence or Twitter presence, where we can extract some information about these people.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Did you get any help with getting an understanding of your financials, and who helped you out through that process if you did?
Yeah, I mean, basically my background is engineering, so sometimes I ask for help. Like I have some advisors or consultants on finance, but that case was obvious. Like you just do the math and see, like, okay, I burn this much, I bring this much, and this is how I have in the bank. So it was like a straightforward and clear that we're running out of money.
I think Armand wants to ask a question. I don't think he knows how though.
I'll
Okay,
be
thank you
around if
very
there are more
much.
questions. And thanks, Fuckup Nights Armenia
Appreciate
team
it.
for inviting. This is a really great experience, by the way.
This was absolutely amazing.